Morning. It's a cold start to the day, a frosty one for some of us. There's a risk of ice in the northern half of the country, and there's some snow showers too in the west, but heavier snow with the potential for drifting and blizzards on the higher routes in northern Scotland. I'll have all the details coming up. Good morning, both. Good morning to you too. It is a cold start to the day today, and the forecast for today is one of snow and gales for some of us, especially so in the northern half of the country. Now, we've had snow showers as we've gone through the course of the night, so with temperatures below freezing in the northern half of the country, there is the risk of ice on untreated surfaces. Further snow showers to come today. We've got gales across parts of Scotland, severe gales in the far north. That combination, of course, especially on the higher routes, means that we could well have some issues with blizzards and also drifting. And if anything, there's a potential across Orkney and Caithness to have wind speeds by lunchtime of 75 to 80 miles an hour. Those are damaging wind speeds. Now, we've got the rain pushing away from the southeast slowly. In between, there'll be a lot of dry weather, but on this brisk wind, these represent the average wind speeds. We'll see further showers blowing in from the west especially, and some of those will be wintry, especially so in the hills. These are the temperatures you'll see on your thermometer, so 3 in Aberdeen to maybe 8 in Cardiff. But when you add on the strength of the wind, it will feel cold. It will feel more like -3 in Aberdeen and +5 in Cardiff. So it's a day certainly for wrapping up warmly. We're going to have up to 15 centimetres of snow on the higher routes in Scotland, with further snow falling tonight. A lot of clear skies, still those wintry showers coming in from the west, most of them on the hills, but some of the heavier bursts will bring some down to lower levels. And these are our overnight temperatures. We're looking at a widespread frost. Ben and Sal.
Ooh.
That's on Thursday. So yes and no, Ben, because as it comes in, and I'll tell you about this in about half an hour, as the rain bumps into the cold air, there'll be snow, and then some milder air comes in behind it, so it'll turn back to rain, and then colder air will follow on behind a cold front. But I'll explain all that to you in half an hour.
Look forward to it.
Carol the Killer Kirkwood.
Obviously.
No?
She's right behind you as you say that.
You don't like that, Carol? Wow.
No, she loves it.
Good morning, everybody. This morning, we've got a real contrast in temperatures. At the moment in Shap, it's -6, but in St Helier, it is 10 degrees. So there you go, 16-degree difference from the north to the south. But generally today, it's going to be a cold day. And we've got snow in the forecast and gales for some of us as well. Now, this weather front has been pushing steadily southwards through the night, and behind it, cold air has filtered in. We've had some snow showers, so in the northern half of the country, where it's coldest, there's a risk of ice on untreated surfaces. It's also windy across Scotland. In the northern half in particular, we're looking at gales, with exposure across the far north of Scotland, even severe gales. And later, across Orkney and Caithness, there's a potential for wind speeds to reach 75 to 80 mile an hour gusts. Those are damaging gusts. Plus, we'll have all this snow falling as well, so there'll be drifting and potentially blizzards on some of the higher routes. Now, as we come further south, eventually we say goodbye to that weather front. There'll be a lot of dry weather, but on the brisk wind, we'll have showers blowing in from the west, and some of those could be wintry. In the heavier showers, we could see a wee bit of a wintry mix of sleet, rain and snow at lower levels, but it shouldn't last. These are the gust strengths today. So by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this is roughly what you can expect. The strongest gusts being in the northern half of the country. And our temperatures, 3 in Aberdeen, 3 in Newcastle to 9 in London. But when you add on the strength of the wind chill, this is how it will feel. More like -3 in Aberdeen, -2 in Newcastle and +7 in London. Now, through this evening and overnight, we hang on to those snow showers. Still windy across Scotland. That's where the strongest winds will be. But the winds will still be brisk across England, Wales and Northern Ireland, blowing in some showers, perhaps as far south as the North and West Midlands. Some of those could be wintry, even at lower levels in some of the heavier bursts. And these are our overnight temperatures. So we're looking at a widespread frost. And once again, the risk of ice on untreated surfaces. So we start tomorrow in a windy note, but a ridge of high pressure builds in. So the winds will slowly ease, but still some showers coming down the North Sea coastline, still some coming in on the brisk wind in western areas, and still some of those will be wintry. Not all of us will see them. A lot of us will have a dry day, and there'll be a fair bit of sunshine. Excuse me, with temperatures closer to where they should be at this stage in January. Now, as we head into Wednesday, this ridge of high pressure is pushed away. We've got a warm front coming in, so milder air behind it. Then we've got a cold front coming in, so we see a return to colder air. So as the rain bumps into the cold air initially, we'll see snow in its leading edge, even at low levels. Then the temperature rises a little bit, so we go back to some rain. But behind the second front, the cold front, what you'll find is temperatures will start to fall slowly, and then we'll see a return to some wintry showers. And a quick look at what's happening at the end of the week shows further wintry showers coming in from the west, but equally a lot of dry weather as well. But there's no heat wave in prospect at all. These are our average temperatures, 3 to about 8 or 9 degrees. So for some of us, they're below average for this time of year, which is 5 in the north to 8 in the south. Ben and Sal.
Carol, thank you so much. We'll see you again in half an hour.
Thank you. Good morning. It's a cold start to the day. There's some frost and some ice, especially in the northern half of the country, where we also have strong winds and some snow. Further south, rain clearing with some sunshine, but still a brisk wind. I'll have all the details throughout this morning's programme. Good morning, both. Good morning to you too. And having said that, parts of higher routes in Scotland could have up to 15 centimetres of snow by the time we get to tomorrow morning. There's snow in our forecast today for some. It's a cold day ahead and also a pretty windy one. We've got this weather front here, which is sinking southwards. Behind it, cold air has followed on behind. And you can see where we've had the wintry showers by night, there's a risk of ice on untreated surfaces. But further snow to fall across Scotland today, especially on higher ground. Windy as well, gales, even severe gales across exposed parts of the north, and if anything, that wind could pick up by lunchtime, potentially blowing to about 75 to 80 miles an hour across Orkney and Caithness, damaging wind gusts. So blizzards on the higher routes and drifting as well. Meanwhile, our weather front sinks south, so the temperatures will go down in the south as we go through the course of the day. On the brisk winds, there'll be further showers coming in across western areas. Some of those will be wintry, so a mix of rain, sleet and snow. We could see some of that even at lower levels, temporarily in the heavier bursts. Now, these are our temperatures, 2 in Aberdeen and 7 in Cardiff. These are what we call our hourly temperatures, the temperatures we expect at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So when we add on the hourly wind strength, it will feel more like -4 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Aberdeen, and it will feel like 2 degrees in London. So you can see how the temperature is slipping away. A cold day in prospect. Ben and Sal.
We'll wrap up. Carol, thank you very much indeed. Morning, Carol.
Good morning, everyone. This morning it's a cold start to the day for most of us, and it's going to be a cold day generally. As well as that, there is some snow and some gales in the forecast. Now, if we look what's been happening overnight in the radar picture, this is a weather front producing rain. Cold air cutting in behind it means that some of us have seen some snow overnight. Certainly that's the case in Scotland, and we've had some wintry showers across Northern Ireland. Now, this will continue to sink south through the rest of the day, so the temperature will go down in the south. But behind it, where we've had those wintry showers with temperatures around about freezing or below, we are looking at the risk of ice on untreated surfaces. Further snow showers to come today. We could have up to 15 centimetres on some of the higher routes in Scotland, with gales and severe gales across the far north. And that combination could well lead to some temporary blizzards and drifting of snow. And if anything, as we go through the day across Orkney and Caithness, by lunchtime we could have gusts of wind 75 to 80 miles an hour. Those are damaging strengths of wind. Further south, though, our weather front continues to journey away towards the near continent. A lot of dry weather and some sunshine comes through. But on the brisk winds, we are looking at further showers coming in from the west, and some of those will also be wintry. By wintry, I mean a mixture of rain, sleet and snow. And we could see some of that at lower levels, but it won't accumulate. Now, the wind speed today, very salient in the north of the country. This is where the gusts will be strongest, as represented by these black circles. But wherever you are, it's going to be windy. Temperatures, 2 in Aberdeen, 3 in Newcastle, 4 in Hull. But when you add on the strength of the wind and the wind chill, this is how it will feel. More like -4 in Aberdeen, -3 in Newcastle and -1 in Hull. Only 2 degrees in London. So that temperature going down, adding on the wind, that's how it will feel. Now, through this evening and overnight, we continue with some further snow showers across Scotland. Still windy here. Further snow showers coming in from the west. We could see them as far south as the North and West Midlands, for example, through Wales, maybe a few getting into the southwest. These ones won't lie. And this is the kind of temperature range we're looking at. So a widespread frost to start the day tomorrow. It's also still going to be windy first thing, with showers coming down the North Sea coastline, more wintry ones coming in on the wind in the west. But through the days a ridge of high pressure builds, things will ease, and also the wind strength will ease, and there'll be a lot of dry weather and a fair bit of sunshine. But it's still going to feel cold. Now, having said that, I'm going to qualify it because these temperatures are more representative of what we would expect at this stage in January. But as we move from Wednesday into Thursday, our ridge of high pressure pushes away. We've got a warm front. So as it bumps into the cold air, we will see some snow in its leading edge. And you can see even at lower levels. And then behind the warm front, we've got some milder conditions coming in by comparison. So we see a return to some rain. But then we've got a second front coming in, which is a cold front. So behind that again, eventually the air turns colder and we'll see a return to some wintry showers. So Ben and Sal, the weather is all over the place at the moment, but it is, of course, winter. It's what we should expect.
But you're the one to make sense of it for us, Carol. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Ben. Good morning. It's a cold start to the day. There's some frost around and the risk of ice on untreated surface in the northern half of the country. Here too, there's some snow showers, especially in Scotland, where we've also got some gales. Further south, brisk winds, rain clearing and some sunshine. But I'll put all of that together for you later in the programme. Everybody, do you know it is a cold start to the day? Some of us will be waking up to scenes like this morning. What's been happening is we've had a weather front moving southwards, cold air filtering in behind, so we've seen some snow and further snow and gales across the north of the country today. And wherever you are, it's going to feel cold. So here is our weather front. Temperatures will actually go down in the south today as this weather front moves away. But where we've had the wintry showers overnight, there is the risk of some ice on untreated surfaces. We continue with some snow showers across Scotland today, coupled with gales, even severe gales with exposure in the north. That combination could lead to some temporary blizzards on some of the higher routes and also drifting. So you can see how our weather front continues to slowly push down towards the southeast. Behind it, we're looking at brighter skies, but on the brisk winds, we'll see further showers coming into the west, and some of those could be wintry, primarily on higher ground. These are our temperatures: 2 in Aberdeen, 5 in Belfast, 5 in London. But when you add on the strength of the wind, this is how it will feel against your skin. More like -4 in Aberdeen, freezing in Belfast, and +2. So it's a day for wrapping up warmly. Now, through this evening and overnight, we continue with the snow across Scotland and also the strong winds. There'll be further snow showers coming in the wind to some western areas. We could see them as far south as Wales, southwest England and the North and West Midlands. But anything that gets down to lower levels won't last. You might see a temporary accumulation of slush. These are overnight lows. So once again, we're looking at a widespread frost and the risk of ice on untreated surfaces. Ben and Sal.
We have been warned. Carol, thank you very much indeed.
Ed, good morning, Carol.
It certainly is, Ben. Yes, good morning, everyone. We've had some snow already this morning, certainly overnight as well. This picture from one of our weather watchers shows an earlier scene in Perth and Kinross. And there's further snow showers to come today and also some gales for some of us. But wherever you are, it's going to be a cold day yet. This area of rain here with snow behind it is sinking southwards and the cold air will follow on behind. So where we've had the snow by night, you can see that we are at the risk of some ice on untreated surfaces first thing this morning. Now, behind this, as I mentioned, it's cold. The ice will be with us probably till about 11 o'clock. That's when the Met Office weather warning does run out. But further snow will accumulate across the northern half of Scotland, even at lower levels. Couple that with gales and severe gales across the far north, that could lead to some drifting and also some blizzard conditions, temporary blizzard conditions on some of the higher routes. Come south and our weather front continues to push away. Behind it, there'll be a lot of dry weather. There'll be some showers coming in a brisk wind. Some of those will be wintry, meaning a mixture of rain, sleet and also snow, most of the snow on higher ground. But as this weather front clears, it is going to turn much colder. Now, these are the gust strengths of wind we're looking at today. Around about lunchtime, they could be higher than this in Orkney and Caithness. We could have gusts as much as 75 or 80 miles an hour. Temperatures today, 2 degrees in Aberdeen, 7 degrees in Cardiff. Add on the strength of the wind chill, and it will feel more like -4 in Aberdeen and +4 in Cardiff. So wherever you are, it is going to feel cold. Now, through this evening and overnight, we continue with the snow and the strong winds across Scotland. On the brisk winds, further wintry showers coming in across Northern Ireland, northwest England, Wales, southwest England, possibly as far south as the North and West Midlands. Most of these will be on the hills. but the temperatures overnight are going to be low enough for some frost and the risk of ice. Tomorrow we start off on a windy note, the wind easing through the day. We'll hang on to some showers in the east, the north and the west, but a fair bit of sunshine, but still feeling cold down in south.